To the action now on this showcase for some of the prospects promoted by Sports Network as part of their Fight School series. Arguably the brightest pupil in his particular class in action here tonight. Young Kevin Mitchell, just 20 years of age, perfect record so far at super featherweight. Mitchell into his first 8-rounder tonight though, and a Frenchman, Karim Chakim. Let's pick it up at the start.
The most exciting London prospect since Nigel Benn was a youngster. That's how Frank Warren describes Kevin Mitchell in the blue trunks here. He's won all 13 so far, 9 inside schedule, 6 in round 1. In with Karim Chakim, a 29-year-old from France, who so far in his embryonic pro career has been a win some, lose some kind of operator. Might find it hard here against Mitchell, whose jab there seems to have quite an exaggerated effect on the Frenchman.
Mitchell looked very, very fired up even before the bell was rung, and now he's started off. He's got that sort of arrogant stance about him. The way he drops the jab in, the way he drops the right hand in, very arrogant, which suits his style of fighting.
Mitchell, who's only 20. And he's the golden child of Frank Warren's Sports Network organisation. Certainly being groomed for stardom, they hope, but accidents will happen, of course, along the way. Mitchell hopes they don't. He's had a bit of attitude in the ring. He can be quite temperamental, but he's trying to be cooler. He says out of the ring that he's a laid-back kind of character. Says you wouldn't notice me if you were bumping into me in the pub, but it's just something happens when I get in the ring.
That's right, sometimes fighters want to become celebrities before they become champions or good fighters, and that's usually the downfall. Mitchell can fight, and he can punch fast and accurate. You've got sort of a split personality. When you get in the ring, you become somebody you don't even recognise when you watch him on a video, and that's what Mitchell does.
Certainly got his fight face on every time he gets in there, and he's been knocking people cold, he says, since he was 11 years old. Grew up idolising Prince Nassim Hamed in the days when Naz was putting together all those thriller chillers for us.
But that all comes with confidence. If you believe you can punch fast, if you can believe you can punch hard, you'll stand there and you let it go like it's going to make a difference. And these things put together become very, very effective.
Doesn't look so much in a hurry these days, Mitchell. You can see he's starting to mature as a pro, become a bit more rounded, looks a bit more patient, realises he isn't going to blast out everybody, quite prepared to take his time if necessary. Good signs, those.
Uses the jab well, doesn't use the whole reach of the jab, but uses it well, fast, very crisp, very accurate with it too.
Good support for him as well, there always is. Loads of family and friends supporting him, and most of his fights have been in London.
You can see Mitchell's a good student. You see how he blocked the shots with his elbows, with his forearms. So he's expecting to attack and be attacked, and he's expecting to be able to deal with each of them.
He looked good there in that first round. Second round, and we do hope that Kevin Mitchell does come through to be a star. British boxing needs stars, the sport needs stars. That's the way it is. Hope he'll be fighting for a Southern Area title, by the way, maybe even in his next fight in May. That's the plan anyway, so I understand it. He's boxed Frenchmen before, including last time out against Frederick Bonifay, and did a good job with that as well.
Remember, Kevin Mitchell's never gone past 6 rounds. So to talk about boxing for a Southern Area title, he does need the rounds under his belt, but fighting the way he does, I can't see him getting that before a Southern Area title fight.
7 fights he's had, that's all. The 29-year-old Frenchman Chakim. He started with 4 wins, 1 inside distance. Last 3 he's lost on points. No one stopped him yet. But it's not a big risk fight or anything like that. Why would it be at this stage for Mitchell? They're just keeping him under wraps at this stage.
Watch how Mitchell blocks the shots. He doesn't step out the way. He uses the forearm and he rises shots left and right, and then comes up with a jab to the head and to the body, but uses speed and variation.
Nice movement from Mitchell, just mixing it up, thinking about it. Tried a little move there. This time it didn't quite work. Chakim was wise to that. There's another of those stiff jabs. He really does jab well.
Clever move. Get your opponent used to the jab and keep popping it in and keep getting aware of the jab. Then all of a sudden throw a right hand over the top and you see what a difference it makes.
Mitchell was the English ABA champion when he was only 18. He stopped all the opponents on his way to the London final. Then he won the next two by 35 points and 25 points. That's how comprehensive it was.
Which shows he can box as well as punch, which, you know, we were saying earlier, is not many fighters that have got all the ingredients to become a great fighter or a good fighter.
Key win on that run was against David Mulholland in the quarter-final, an international Mulholland. And that really was as good as the final, they both thought, and it's the way it turned out to be, really, because Mitchell went on to become the ABA champion.
Mitchell's just tapping him with a jab there, and what he's doing is he's trying to set him up to throw a few combinations off the jab.
Chakim trying to find a way into the fight, but at the moment you feel both mentally and strategically Mitchell is very much the boss in there. They do have a common opponent, one Alain Racal, who Mitchell beat in the first round. And there was a stoppage in 6 when Chakim fought him. Gun shootout here for the Frenchman.
If you stand in front of an opponent and you do nothing, therefore he'll get brave. Even a scared man will throw a shot. So you've got to keep him busy, confuse him, and make him scared to throw the shot. Good.
Round 3, blue trunks. The precocious talent that is Kevin Mitchell of Dagenham in Essex, who's now a father, by the way. Something else for him to think about. Another reason why he needs to be earning good money as well. I think he's been
wants to be careful for those right hands over the top. He was just missed by one at the beginning of the round, and that is a chink in his armour, the right hand over the top of his jab.
Just got caught by one there. Just a little wake-up call, not to go to sleep on it for Mitchell, and keep his senses around him. Chakim giving him a little reminder. Body shot, then a left hook from Kevin Mitchell. And another attempt with the right hand from Chakim. He didn't quite get there this time, but there might be a little gap with that because that left glove is quite low of Mitchell's at times.
Mitchell is concentrating so much on what he's going to do to his opponent. He's dropping that left hand down, and he's getting caught with that right hand over the top. And that's what he needs to be careful of. If Chakim doesn't take advantage of it, somebody will, and somebody will watch Mitchell and know what shot he needs to throw.
So far he has been in, understandably so, with strictly limited opposition. Same again here, really. Cracking left hand there from Mitchell. He does have fast hands, he's got a good jab, he can pick punches, but he's still a work in progress to some extent, and they won't want to rush him.
Mitchell didn't panic when he got caught by that right hand. He just popped the jab out and came out with a quick flurry just to confuse his opponent. He didn't panic, which shows more maturity. It shows a little bit of experience as well.
Just got the feeling with Mitchell, though, that the ring is his office. He's lived the life of a boxer for the last decade or so of his life, half a lifetime, and it just looks comfortable in there.
That's right. To be in there, to be so comfortable, you've got to love being there. I say to all fighters, you've got to love it. If you don't love it, 2 fighters in there, it's the one that loves it the most will always come out on top.
What we haven't seen yet is him being put under serious pressure by a better class opponent. That obviously is a test that's yet to come. It's when you find out, or start to find out a little bit more about the makeup of these prospects. Good defensive work from him there, parrying. He's starting to look quite cute, isn't he?
He is. The longer this fight goes, actually, the better it is for Mitchell because he's getting the ring experience.
Still in charge.
Yeah. A bit sloppy that
Yep.
one. Yeah, a bit sloppy.
That's why.
You're firing,
Yep.
yeah, and you're not looking what's coming back, yeah?
He did get caught by a shot at the start of that last round. Bit of carelessness, really.
Because he kept his left hand down and he thought it was all going his way, and that right hand over the top had just been whizzing past initially at the beginning of the round, and he got him spot on the button. But Mitchell's work is so busy and so fluent, he doesn't give his opponent time to see the opening, see the chink in his armour, and the time he did give him the chance, Chakim took advantage of it.
That was a lovely shot, wasn't it? Well picked. That left hook was some real class shot from Kevin Mitchell. He's only been a pro for 21 months.
I wish I didn't fight him when I was 20.
Fourth round. We've been saying a lot of nice things about him, but you always have to add the rider. We've seen exciting prospects before, and sometimes the dream doesn't come true.
That's right, but he's a confident fighter. For the amount of fights that he's had, he's a very, very confident fighter. And kids like this will always outfox a lot of fighters out there.
But it must be said that they've not exactly gambled, have they, here? They're putting him in with a guy who's a non-puncher who's lost his last three. So even by the standards of grooming fighters on the nursery slopes, this is maybe going a little far, I don't know.
They know he's got talent. They don't want to spoil him. They don't want to soil him. So you know what? Let him get more and more confidence. So that confidence is total arrogance. So when he gets in there, you know, at least he's got something, you know, that he's totally in control of, and that's his arrogance and his confidence. It makes him into a better fighter.
Still in no particular hurry. He always fought in his early days like he had a train to catch. Mitchell, quite the opposite now.
You see, Chakim caught him with that right hand over the top again. There wasn't much power in it, but again, it's the punches you don't see coming that make the difference. And earlier on, when Mitchell was caught by it, he didn't see that punch coming. This time, it was on the target, but you know, it wasn't strong enough. It wasn't accurate enough.
Good honest effort here from Karim Chakim. He is being outclassed largely. He's having the odd success, but it is the odd success.
Let's see as the rounds go on if Mitchell can stick to that jab, that nice stiff jab, and those quick combinations, and that nice fluid movement, and that will make him into a better, more rounded fighter.
Just trying to pick his punches, Mitchell, not waste too many. Work the openings where he can. He went for a haymaker of a left hook, whistled past the chin that time of Chakim. Just not snapping out the jab quite so much in this phase of the fight.
The jab's not as dominant, but when Mitchell went back to the corner, his cornerman did the right thing, made the instructions to him simple, plain, not too much information, just gave him confidence on what he did well, and what he should do next.
Again, a right hand landing from the Frenchman. Another right, this time from Mitchell. Winning the rounds, putting them in the bank. It wasn't his best round of his career, though, that one. Quiet. Trumps, remember. Kevin Mitchell, only 20, unbeaten in 13 so far. Much talked about already. A few magazines have been doing articles about him as one to watch. Certainly one of the better hopefuls around at the moment. Some might say the best.
See, Mitchell's back to use that nice, crisp, fast, flashing jab. And it works for him. It works for him every time. Everything flows off the jab. He lost his way a couple of rounds ago, but now he's back with it again. Do the basics, what you're good at in the gym, and everything will flow off that.
despite his flashes of temperament in the ring from time to time. I've met Kevin Mitchell out of the ring at a boxing writers' dinner. He's a very pleasant, honest and affable young man. Still has something of that chirpy Cockney persona about him, mind you.
I always find the smarter the fighter is outside the ring, the better the fighter he becomes. I've not met Mitchell on a personal level, but he seems to be a smart mover.
He looks like he's got a good boxing brain, doesn't he? He wouldn't have done everything I think he did in the amateurs without having that quality.
That's right. You've got to be able to adapt, and that's what he's done. 2 rounds ago, he lost his way, and he was making the fight a little scrappy, but then he's back again using that crisp jab, quick combinations, and making it hard for Chakim to put the pressure on him.
Just keeping a hold on the fight. Shakim's trying hard in there, but he's just being kept off balance, and a little bit of lateral movement there from Mitchell. It looks like he's just trying to think his way through this, mixes in a couple to the body. Almost looks as if he wants to go the rounds, doesn't he?
Chakim's trying to walk him down and draw him into his style of fight, which is mixing it up, and that's the only chance Shakim's got. Whereas Mitchell, he can punch, he can fight, he can brawl. He wants to do what's best for him. Don't give a man a chance that hasn't got one.
I might be doing Chakim a disservice, but it almost looks like Mitchell is doing most of this in a kind of second gear, like a racehorse hard held in the final furlong.
I understand what you're saying, but then there's the risk of getting caught by one of those splash right hands over your jab and locking in, and they make all the difference in a fighter's career. You may lose to somebody that is actually not as good a fighter as you.
What you're saying is he's got to be ruthless and get the job done as soon as he possibly can.
Get him out of the way. He said, somebody's hit me in there. I'm not sure who it is, but the punches are coming from somewhere.
And you've just got your GCSE in French. Well done, Johnny. A bit belatedly.
Very accurate. You know, he's moving, he's not giving Chakim anything to pick up and anything to think about. He's moving from left to right, using a nice fast shot jab and shots to the body and making it very, very hard for him.
Actually, by the way, it's a qualified lifeguard out of the ring. Not a skill I think he has much cause to use just at the moment in his life. 6th round of this one. It's the first 8-rounder, by the way, this in the career of Kevin Mitchell, so a little bit of a stamina test. I think there's been something of trying to pace it in here as well, don't you? But they've been aware of the fact that it's the first 8-rounder.
I hear that, but earlier on in the corner I said I don't think they expected him to go past 4 rounds. So now they've had to change their game plan and, you know, use his speed, use his accuracy, and use what experience he's got to try and drag it out.
Look out of the ring for a moment there, Chakim, not advised really. Wonder whether Mitchell might just try to step this up now and get the stoppage inside. He's never been stopped, Chakim, but he's only had 7 fights, so it's not the biggest boast, is it, at that stage?
I feel boxing like this for Mitchell is the best thing, to actually go the distance as well. He's boxing well, he's boxing sharp, but he needs to get the rounds under him. And he's got the opponent in front of him that is getting really full of himself. Think, you know what, I'm going to go the distance and I'm going to give you a good run for your money.
Body shot goes in from Chakim that time. Mitchell looking to get in with fast punches and then get away again. Good defensive work. His reflexes clearly good there.
Mitchell's pretty good at most things. He's pretty good at fighting, he's pretty good at finding the shot, and he's pretty good at getting out of the way without actually stepping too far back, just swaying out of the way of the shots.
He's looked clever tonight, Mitchell. I think he's evolving into a different sort of operator than the one we thought we might have on our hands. Early on in his career, when he was just blasting everybody out in a round, we weren't learning too much. I think we're beginning to see, aren't we, what he might become.
He's turning into a man in front of our eyes, and this this will be, looking back on it in a couple of years' time, will be one of those fights that was a talent fight that made him into a more mature, experienced fighter. He's having to box, he's having to pick his shots, he's having to pace himself, he's having to watch out for the right hands over the top, so he's having to use a lot of his artillery and a lot of everything to get through the fight. But he's bearing it up and dropping those body shots in to make it awkward for Chakim.
Body shot again and then away by Mitchell. Chakim just having the look at the moment of a fighter who is just finding it a little bit too much, who knows the other guy's got a bit too much class for him.
Don't think about it. You're trying too hard for the knockout, Kevin.
Yeah. They're accusing him of going for the knockout. I think he is he? He doesn't look like that.
I thought initially, yeah, but now I think they want to make the instructions simple for him. Give him confidence with what he's done and build up, massage his ego, so when he gets in there, he boxes more brilliantly, he enjoys it more.
7th round, the Wayne Rooney of boxing. That was what the camp described him as. Here's a fight somewhere down the line. Kevin Mitchell against Amir Khan. How does that sound, Tommy?
That would be an absolute corker, a fight which I can never ever see happening, but it would be a corker.
Oh, I don't know. 2008? June? Outside somewhere?
So accurate, so fast with that right-hand cross. And he's still got the energy to dummy the jab and just drop it down to the body and bring it back up again and come in with a right-hand cross. He's not tired, he's not fatigued, and he's still mentally still alert.
Good right hand as well. But he has at times tonight just looked like a young artist at work in there, Kevin Mitchell, albeit against this modest opposition. We have to make that point. I mean, I think really in terms of a gamble, it's almost like having a wager that tomorrow's going to be Saturday, that he's going to win this. You'd have thought so anyway.
Yeah, I totally understand and know what you're saying, but for Mitchell, you know, he needs to sharpen up his tools and have a little bit of a test, just step it up a little bit. And even though Chakim has lost his last 3 fights, he's a stayer. He's going to make Mitchell have to work for this win.
Just not perhaps putting Chakim under enough pressure for some people's taste, particularly those who've bought tickets for every Mitchell fight and have got used to seeing some real fireworks and explosive stuff from him. But this is a young man, I think, who knows what he's doing in there.
But it's still enjoyable to watch. You know, he's still throwing classy shots, he's still throwing eye-catching shots. So even though you're not getting the knockout, you're still enjoying what you're seeing with Kevin Mitchell.
Just lost the plot a little bit in that move and knew it. Mitchell almost abandoned the attack.
Don't leave yourself open, Kevin Mitchell. You know, he's coming out with the flash superstar shots, but you leave himself open for the lucky shots over the top from Chakim.
Just occasionally does that. You just wonder with a slick counter-puncher or a heavy counter-puncher whether he might pay for that at some point. It's a habit he won't want to develop. He may feel this guy hasn't really got the power to hurt him and he can take that liberty, but somewhere down the line he could pay. Shutout so far on the scorecard, hasn't he, doesn't it?
This is the last round.
Punches landed, there we are. Mitchell a mile in front, basically.
A mile in front. He's far too fast for Chakim. His variation, his style of fighting is something that Chakim is struggling to deal with. You know, the only thing Chakim can deal with is the power. Kevin Mitchell just doesn't seem strong enough to take him out of there as yet. You see where he leaves himself open there when he's looking for the body shot. Now Chakim could nudge his throw a right hand and not even look where he's throwing it, and that pop look may catch it.
Last round, Kevin Mitchell, who when he won his first schoolboy title, one of a host of junior titles, knocked out all 5 on the way through. But tonight he's paraded his skills, both offensive and defensive. Skills that were honed by Mickey May at the West Ham Amateur Boxing Club, something of an academy for young amateurs.
Mitchell reminds me of a young Ryan Rhodes. He's got that gung-ho attitude, and he throws shots that most fighters wouldn't dare throw. And if he's fighting somebody, you're shocked that he's actually attempted to throw the shot, but he gets away with it.
Again, good reflexes and movement from the waist from Mitchell. Just a question really of when they start to let him off the leash a little, ask him 1 or 2 more serious questions. He hasn't really been asked any yet, not really.
This is where he needs to be a good student. He needs to go back, look at this fight again, and say to himself, how would I beat me? And address those issues and deal with them. And therefore, he'll become a better fighter each time he does that, each time he watches himself fight.
Of course, another thing you look for too as a fighter develops is, does he have the ability to even switch strategies and think in mid-fight? Because Ali almost had that ability, didn't he, to look at fights almost as if he was a ringside spectator and work out what to do next.
Well, yeah, I think Mitchell has a little bit of that, because remember, 3 and 4, he did lose his way a bit, he got a little bit scrappy, and he got caught with a shot, and then he cooled back a bit, and then in the 5th round he came up with nice, stiff jabs, and started to go back to basics.
Just doing the job quietly tonight. No real fireworks from Kevin Mitchell. Nobody's going to be walking away from here, I think, saying that they've seen something explosive. He's caught off balance by that right hand, looks to wind up another one there. Again, I think Chakim was just off balance, but it was a good shot, and Mitchell thinks he's got him hurt because he's going for it. He suddenly ups the tempo here. Body shot from him. And Chakim takes another heavy-looking shot to the body. In a moment there, he switched gear, Mitchell.
At times, Mitchell is so fast. It's the shots that put a Chakim off balance that make it look like a better shot than it actually is.
Showed good instincts, that, didn't it? He just suddenly knew that he had the guy going a little bit and went for it. Realised it straight away.
Stepped it up, took control. You know, these are sort of things you can't teach a fighter.
Mitchell's won it by a mile as well, too. Nice boxing display. Boxing well within himself, almost going through a repertoire of skills, looking a cool and more rounded operator. And he definitely, and we already knew this, is one to watch, because he's got a lot going for him, I think. Kevin Mitchell moves to 14-0 now, but tonight, on a rare occasion, he does not have a stoppage win. Did you like that performance?
I think he's a very, very colourful fighter. I think he's got a lot of variation. He's got a good eye, and he's got supreme confidence. And for a kid that's only had now 14 fights, the confidence that he's got is second to none.
Little punch of the imaginary gloves for Kevin Mitchell, for family and friends. 14-0 now for the young starlet.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of international action, referee Lee Cook has scored the contest for Chakim 72 points, for Mitchell 80 points. He remains undefeated from Dagenham. The winner, Kevin "Mighty" Mitchell.
I was pleased, yeah, I let a few shots go. I'm getting the rounds in now. I'm not going there, bang, knockout, getting out, not learning nothing. In there, I think you can tell me, sometimes I'm getting tricked in there, sometimes things are not happening for me, things ain't going my own right way. As you said in previous fights, I'm just getting everything my own way. In this fight here, I'm not getting everything my own way. In the fight previous, I wasn't getting everything my own way. I was getting my boxing skills off, letting a few shots go, and I was quite happy here.
How did you feel going 8 rounds for the first time as a pro?
Yeah, I feel like I've done the 8 rounds easy, but as I say, I've only had, well, 2 weeks to get ready for an 8 rounder. I've been training for 6, and if you've only had 2 6 rounders, you've only completed 2 6s. To get ready for an 8 rounder, it's like quite a big step up in my training. It's good, like 45 minutes to an hour in the gym longer every day. So last week, yeah, it's been quite intense in the gym and that. I'm getting used to it, and after a while, I'll get stronger with it as well.
Could you have stepped up a level, or were you trying to pace yourself?
I was trying to pace myself. You got it right, that's what I mean. I'm pacing myself. I'm not knowing what I can actually cope with in during 8 rounds. Obviously, as an amateur, I only fought 4 2-minute rounds. That's not nothing like doing 8 threes. So I pace myself. There's 10 minutes stepping up, and I know when to step out in my head, and I could do it, but Saint's holding me back. And I think as the time goes on, you'll see plenty more of me throwing more combinations as I was in my 4 rounds and my 6 rounders.
There's talk of a Southern Area title fight coming up. What's the latest on that?
Hopefully, I'll be getting it soon, very soon. I feel I've got an 8 rounder in Manchester, so it's another 8 rounder. So
On the Hatton bill?
I think it's the day before the Hatton bill. I'll be here for the Hatton bill though. It's Brody and Scott Everson. I've got an 8 rounder on that one, so hopefully I've got a good time preparation for the 8 rounder, so hopefully you'll see more combinations and more strength in there, actually.
Spencer, is he being well matched now?
I think certainly he's been well matched. He's having his 14th contest there. A couple of French imports. I mean, Frederick Bonifaire, been around a long time. Even when I was boxing, he was around. And then here again this evening against another tough Frenchman and putting a good performance. What you can see there is, Paul, the way that he's using his brain, he's thinking about things. As he said there, it's that step up from 6 rounds to 8 rounds. And believe me...
And there's more to it than we see on the night of the fight, isn't
Absolutely,
there?
absolutely. It's like running a marathon, and that first 26 miles, it's that last 0.2 that really gets you. And it's the same there. As you step up the rounds, you know, they do really get tough. And he's just finding his way at the moment, and they're matching him really, really well, taking their time. He's got the rounds under his belt, and that'll be the most important thing.
And in the long run, do you think we might look back and say this period was the making of him?
I think certainly, definitely this period is the making of him, because he's now just finding his feet. He knows what it's like. He's not just going out there, as he said, crash, bang, wallop, getting the job done, because he's learning nothing there, but he's learning a lot in these fights.
Thank you, Spencer. Next up, a young...